Okay, so I have an idea for this video. It's based off the previous video that I did about the state's GDP numbers. So it got me to thinking about how the former Confederate States that were built off of a slave economy before the Civil War, how that now and ever since then that they've become some of the poorest states in the United States. So so these are the 10 poorest states in the country. I'm really only going to focus on Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Mississippi and Louisiana being the heaviest as far as the slave populations, and with Alabama also. So those are three states I know more so about. I don't know much about South Carolina as far as the slave. I know they're Confederate states, or former Confederate states, but of course New Mexico is a western state. Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma was a slave state, but I know it's like one of those border states. But anyway, Arkansas, I don't know too much about Arkansas, but just to kind of get to the point, the former Confederate states of Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, that's what I want to focus on. So all right, so this view right here, which is pretty colorful, it's kind of like a soccer ball, but so this is the $20 trillion economy by state, which is actually 25 trillion. I'm not sure when this article was released. Oh, okay, so a week ago, July 19th. But anyway, so if we look right here, Alabama, $213 billion. That's the GDP, the revenue for the whole state for the year. All right, so let's go over here to Louisiana, $217 billion. Okay, and let's find Mississippi on here. Let's see where that one's at. I'm looking through the phone, so I'm spotting it that way. Let's see, Mississippi. Oh, there it is. It's abbreviated. Mississippi, $105 billion for the year. GDP numbers, so obviously Mississippi has a lower revenue, but they also have a slightly lower population than Alabama and Louisiana. So I went to this article here, or this page, Slave Economy by State. So we got, the export of cotton, primarily, off of free labor and all those kind of things. Iron, flour, mining, minerals, textiles. Tobacco. So, so the South has always primarily been an agricultural region, but to think that it went from being totally, well, I won't say totally dependent on a slave economy, but primarily dependent on slave labor to actually have his revenue to now, which, cotton was king, it was a cash crop, to now being these same states that were dominating prior to the Civil War with slavery, free labor, more in an agricultural sense, to now being the poorest states in the nation. So these are the 10 poorest states: Mississippi, Louisiana, West Virginia, New Mexico, Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky, South Carolina, Nevada, and Michigan. So yeah, I don't really want to go too deep into it. I just it's just something that came to my mind that I wanted to speak on, since I was speaking about GDP. Kind of wanted to focus on some of the Confederate States of years past, which are still Confederate States in ideology and symbolism, but of course we're all the United States now. But the South definitely has its distinct roots, and the Confederacy and all that. But so anyway, while we're looking at this right here, I just want to kind of get off that subject for a second. Look at these other, you'll see a lot of T's on there. Those are trillions. Obviously, California is number 1. Texas is number 2. New York, number 3. Florida, number 4. And it's also interesting also because those high GDP numbers by those 4 states fall in line with, in proportion to their population of the United States by state. I think California, it's like 40 million people. Texas, 30 million people. New York, 18 million. And Florida, 22 million. Florida's more of a tourism state. A lot of retirees, whatnot. So even though they have a bigger population, New York State has always been a financial hub internationally also. So extra $5 billion of GDP per year than Florida as a state. But yeah, just kind of, when you really look at the numbers and really think about it, it really shows the vast differences in how each state brings in what they receive in income. Georgia, 591 billion. So Georgia, definitely, you can pretty much take Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi, all their GDP combined, and throw it into Georgia for just to match it. So that's pretty insane to think about. So look at New Mexico right here. $95 billion. Even poorer than Mississippi, but Mississippi's definitely, they're not, it's what, 95 billion, 100, it's a $10 billion difference, but yeah, it's definitely interesting to think about it like that. And they even have it broken down by region: the Rocky Mountain Territory, the Far West, the Plains, Mid-East, Southeast, New England Territory. So yeah, it's cool, just looking at everything about the numbers. But yeah, a lot of the southern states that were formerly part of the Confederacy are now the poor, or have been the poorest states in the country for quite some time, when they were previously the economy is based off of slavery, free labor. So just kind of something to put on the radar and something to reflect on.